Okay, can everybody hear me? Nod, thumbs up, something. Okay, perfect. Okay, so tonight, if you guys saw my short little video earlier in the week, I talked about Go for Nose. I'm sure most of you guys saw it. So a lot of what I'm going to be talking about is in this book, and I'm going to read some things off to you as well, just so you guys have the exact terminology and understand what I'm trying to get across to you guys. So this is the book. If you have not read it yet, it's a really fast book, and it changed my whole perception on success in this business. So it's called Go for No, and it definitely helps you step way out of that comfort zone. And I'm sure some of you guys have already read it, and I know that I do send it out to a lot of new coaches as well, depending on how they hit their goals. So Go for No, what we're going to be discussing is yes is the destination, no is how you get there, and really stepping out of our comfort zone. It's a really hard concept for a lot of people to step outside that comfort zone, and it was for me in the beginning, but once you do, things are going to change around you. Your business is going to change, and just your life in general is going to change. So first thing, oh, now it's not going to let me. Okay, perfect. It'll let me do it. So first thing I want to talk about is recognition. So we have Tara, Paige, Alyssa, and myself at Success Club 2 already this month. I know a lot of you guys have huge goals, so there's so much time in this month to hit those goals, especially if you didn't start off how you wanted to. No worries, you have tons of time. So congratulations to those people already helping change one life this month. But let's dive into it, and we're going to jump right into, I'm just going to have to click every time, I think. Okay, the 5 levels of failure in this business. And failure is a good thing. And a lot of us associate failure with like a negative thing or something that we don't want to achieve, right? Because we've learned our society, it's a norm. Failure is not something we associate with greatness or success. But after really understanding where they're coming from in this book, failure is a good thing. And let me explain. So in this book, it gives you like a whole entire diagram of different levels of failure, but why the failure is good. So first level, level 1, the ability to fail. So 100% of the people on this planet have the ability to fail. It's where we all start, okay? What keeps the most people at level 1, so you want to eventually make it to level 5, but what keeps most people at level 1 status is their intense desire to avoid any form of failure at all costs. As a result, 80% of all people never move past this basic level. Well, you guys all decided to join this business, right? That is a step forward. They say out of 20 people, only one person decides to step out into that, unfamiliar territory. And that's what you guys all did. So you guys are already at level 1, which is hard for a lot of people to do, just because of how society portrays different things. So I'm proud of all of you guys for even stepping, into the role as a coach. So you guys are all already at level 1, which is great. Level 2 gets harder, right? And I think it's when we first start as a coach, the quicker we can learn to accept failure and kind of get past that, that's when we see the ripple effect of success. So when I decided that I was going to go out of my comfort zone and I didn't care what people thought, that's when I helped so many more people in this business. So on to level 2, willingness to fail. So level 2, people develop the willingness to fail, which means that they come to accept failure as a natural byproduct of the process of seeking success. So you have to know that you're going to fail before success happens. Not saying like complete failing in the business, that's not what it means, but we'll get more into that. Fewer than 20% of all people make it to level 2 for any sustained period of time. This business is consistency over time. So you, no matter what, are going to get no's in this business, right? instead of making it something like negative, make it a positive thing, because the more people that you're reaching out to, eventually the more people you're going to be able to help. The more people that you can get in front of, you're going to be able to actually help more people, okay? Level 3, wantingness to fail. So having the wantingness to fail goes beyond more tolerance or acceptance of failure as a part of life. Wantingness means developing the desire to fail with the inner faith, and personal and financial growth will follow. Fewer than 5% of people ever get to this level. Okay, so you have to be willing to accept failure. And in this aspect, I mean going for that no and not being scared of what people say to you. Okay, we are behind the computer most of the time. Some of us talk to people, outside of social media. But remember, when you're seeking new people, if they say no to you, it's not the end of the world, because you can move past it and start talking to somebody else. Or if someone's like rude to you, don't worry about it. Shake it off. That's why we do personal development, so we can kind of get past those initial no's that may affect us in the beginning, right? So moving on to level 4, failing bigger and faster. So level 4, the people who make it to level 4 are those who have come to the conclusion that if failing is good, then failing faster is better. And not just failing faster, but if one is going to increase their failure rate, do it going after big goals that are worthy of the effort, okay? Level 5, failing exponentially. This final level is for those rare individuals who understand that massive success requires multiplication of effort. Level 5, people enlist others to fail with them, knowing that if individual failure means individual success, group failure equals group success, okay? So let's go on to the next slide. So do something every day that scares you. So for example, in coaching, right, for, in the beginning, inviting people to the coaching opportunity and talking to people was what scared me the most. And I'd always put it on the back burner. But that is how you grow your business, right, is inviting people and talking to people. So that's something I had to step out of my comfort zone every single day and do. And don't even think about this. It's just your business. What is something every single day that can push you, out of your comfort zone? Okay. And I really liked this. You can see this little quote. I'll put you guys down here. Oh, not letting me move you guys. Okay. So if you aren't constantly pushing yourself out of the comfort zone, you are going to stay stagnant in your business and in life. So you got to be constantly growing, learning, and improving yourself in what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. So pick something after this call, write this down, is that you want to start pushing yourself way out of your comfort zone every single day, whether it's part of your business or part of life, just so you know that you're continuously growing and learning, developing. I know something too, which I never believed in personal development in the beginning, and that was something that I had to learn to accept. And it's not really like the kind of super scary thing, but it was definitely stepping way out of my comfort zone in the beginning. So that can even be an example of kind of stepping out of your comfort zone. Or like I talked to somebody today, starting a blog. That can be scary because it's your own opinions, and people have that fear of like, am I gonna say something wrong to somebody? That's another thing that you can eventually push for, is writing your own blog, or building your own website for your company. Whatever it is, always continue to be pushing yourself no matter what. So can you guys see this? Hold on. I don't know if you guys can see what I see. Okay, so let's shift our mindset for a second. And like I said, if you guys already read this book, then you're going to know kind of what I'm talking about, kind of have an idea. If you haven't, you need to get this book so you fully understand everything I'm talking about. So I don't sound like a crazy person when I'm saying like, let's go for no's and failure, because it all makes sense, I promise. But what if we decided to make each no we received, in every rejection we encountered something that empowers us. Instead of avoiding rejection, what if we made the decision to seek rejection? Instead of avoiding no, or perhaps simply tolerating it, what if we went out of our way to actually go for no? So I just want you guys to think about that for 1 second. Why can't we look at rejection as something exciting and energizing, right? When we go for, and I'll get more into this in a second, but when we go for our yeses, like say if we just want 5 yeses, have you ever noticed like once you get a yes, or you get some like positive like messages back in a day, the following couple days, like you stop working your business a little bit and you're like, oh, well, I already hit my goal of Success Club 5 or Success Club 10. And, now I'm just kind of relax the rest of the month. No, I am the first person to do this. I'm going to admit it. Until I started not just focusing on my yeses, but actually focusing, I need 10 no's today. I need those 10 no's. And out of those 10 no's, then I'm probably going to have somebody say yes to me. And so I can grow my business. They say the people that get the most rejection in any company, like any successful person, has had the most rejection and the most no's because they put themselves out there way more than people that just focus on their yeses. If you think about it, if you reach out to 100 people and those 100 people say no, are you going to keep? Most of the time, people in this business would stop and get discouraged and simply just quit, right? Because that's a lot of negativity. But if your no's are like, I need 200 no's this month, you're going to keep pushing and you're going to be excited to get those, okay? So it's kind of like this crazy mindset shift that you need to kind of refocus your energy on, and not focus on those yeses and Success Club points, but focus more on how many relationships you can build and how many people, can you reach out to that are going to say no. And remember, we're going to get into this too. No doesn't mean forever or get away from me. It just means not right now. Okay. So all these people it's not wasting your time or wasting your energy, because chances are half those people are going to eventually sign up either as a coach or a challenger or be part of something that you're doing. So don't look at it as, well, I talked to this many people and I spent this much time doing it and I'm just not getting where I want to. You can't look at it that way, because sometimes it takes people 6 months to say yes to this opportunity because they're just unsure or it's just not the right time for them. So I just want you guys to think about that for a second. Now, the wantingness means you're not just tolerating the no's in your life, you're actually beginning to seek them. So you want to seek the no's so you can eventually get to your end goal, okay? Higher your no's are, the more obviously rejection you're going to get, but in the end, the more people that are going to join you, whether it's a coach or a challenger, okay? Does this make sense? Okay. How many have, I can't see everybody, never mind. I'll ask at the end. Okay, so moving on. No, how is it empowering? Hearing yes is the easiest part of the job, right? When we hear yes, we get super excited. We sign that person up and we're like, all right, let's get them going. And we have like this excitement in us, right? But it teaches you virtually nothing. Like, yay, you got that point, right? You're going to help that person. But learning to hear no over and over and over again and never quit, and that's going to build character and self-esteem. And that's what the empowering part. Any successful person, you can like research, any successful person has heard no or has failed for years or has fallen so many times and they never give up. I think though, what did I hear the other day? I think it was Albert Einstein. Like everyone thought he was crazy and nuts and his ideas weren't working and everyone was shutting him down, and like look what he accomplished, right? Because he didn't care what anybody else thought. You have to remember that this is your business, that this is all about you helping people. And if you get discouraged because you have a bad day or a bad week or a bad month, you're not going to get to where you want to get to, because it's going to take time. You know what I mean? If you're not willing to say, I'm going to be here in a year from now, then you're not going to see the benefits. You're not going to see how this whole journey is going to change you and how many people you're going to help and how you're going to grow your team. It's just not going to see it, because a lot of the times we're working on ourselves and we don't even know it. You know, I've changed so much as a person over the past 20 months. I can't even begin to tell you. And I've seen changes in all of you guys. And I've seen you guys step out of your comfort zone and get more comfortable with things and be way more like outgoing. So it really is awesome. And you have to just kind of have that promise to yourself that, you know, that no matter how many no's you get, that's not going to discourage you from your end goal, because your why should be big enough for you to get to that end point. Okay. So pushing through that comfort zone is key to everything that we're discussing. Okay, setting goals. Only set no goals, right? So I love that we do our like big goals every month, and I try to get on the phone with people. And if I have not gotten on the phone with you about your goals, even if you aren't my personally sponsored coach, I am more than willing to get on a call with you guys if we schedule it, and if it's something, you know, if you have an action plan I can help you with, so that way you reach your goals. I am totally open to doing that with you guys. I just need to know ahead of time so I can schedule it in. Make sure I have someone with Hayden so that I can dedicate enough time to you guys. But when we start to only focus on the yes, once we reach that goal, like I said, we don't keep working to achieve more. We simply stop because we reach that monthly goal, right? So instead of setting, okay, let's narrow it back. I want you to set, for example, actually, hold on. We're going to get into it in a second. We'll go back to that slide. But setting our no goals. So let's skip through real quick. So when people normally hit a hot streak of yeses, the worst thing they can do is kind of sit back and relax, like I said, and kind of just go through the motions. I already hit Success Club 5. I already signed up this many people. I already hit my goal, so I'm just going to stop this month. And that's like the worst thing we can do, right? Because the following month, you're not going to have all these people that you've been talking to that you can help, okay? Because it's a ripple effect. If you stop working your business for 2 weeks or a month, like, you're not going to see what you want to the following month. It's just not going to happen, right? Because you're constantly building relationships. It takes time to build trust with people. So step one of setting your no goals. Always set your no goal on a daily and weekly basis. So we have our big monthly goals, and that's what you're going to work off of, right? Your yes goals are going to help your no goals. So say if you want to sign up 5 people, right? 5 people in this business. Typically, you have to talk to 10 people for every 1 person to sign up. So you need 45 no's within that month. So then you're going to take however many, days are that particular month and figure out your no goal every single day, every week. So say if you fall behind that day, weekly how many no's that you need to receive, okay? So for example, let me show you real quick what I do. So this is for the month of June. Do you see how many people I invited so far? So I invited 30 people so far. And that's actually me forming a relationship, talking to them, building a relationship, and actually inviting them to either the coaching opportunity or one of our challenge groups. So it's not any indirect invites. It's 30 people so far. Out of those 30 people, I've already signed up 1 person. And I've sent out 3 enrollments already. And I have 1 person that may sign up tonight. And I have another interest tomorrow night. I'm meeting somebody for coffee about coaching as well. So it's the 7th of the month. And because I've set this no goal, I'm seeking no. So if I say somebody already said yes to me that day, typically I'd be like, okay, like, I'm going to go play more with Hayden, or I'm going to go clean or something. Instead, I didn't reach my 10 no's for that day. Well, whatever no I have to get to that day. But if I didn't reach my 10 no's, I'm still going, right? So I can potentially get another 2 yeses that day if I can. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm not just staying at my comfort zone. I'm still pushing more. Say before I go to bed, instead of me going right to bed or something, I will expand my network with 2 more people or reach out to 1 more person, just so I know I'm getting out there more. push yourself to go a little bit past your comfort zone every single day in every aspect, okay? And it's going to get easier over time. But really focusing on those no's is how you're going to get there. So keep yourself accountable to your goals as well. It's not going, like, I would never, you know what I used to do when I first started? I write down all these people, even if I was inviting them to like a free challenge and they didn't, like, I was hurting myself, right? I'm like, oh, I invited 100 people this month. Even if those 100 people, half them didn't even reach back out to me, I should have kept going, right? Like, I should have kept going because I had certain goals. If you have more time, utilize your time and reach out to more people, because it's not going to affect anyone but you. You know what I mean? Like, you writing down 100 people, but yet only 3 people got back to you, that's not really going to help you, type of thing. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Now let's go back real quick. So I like this little fun fact. Research shows that 85% of all interactions between retail salespeople and shoppers end without the salesperson ever asking for a buying decision. And how this relates back to coaching, right? We can sit there and inform somebody for 2 weeks or a month, but if we never actually ask them, hey, do you want to join this awesome opportunity I'm part of? Do you want to join this awesome team I'm a part of? Or get involved in one of our challenge groups? If you never ask that, you just wasted all this time. Like, you don't know what their answer is. Some people don't just come out and ask you, hey, I want to join you. They just don't. And so you have to ask yourself, am I actually asking this question to people? Am I actually asking people to join me? Actually asking them to invite me? Just you sitting there, like this little sheet I have, it's not just me talking to those people. This is me actually inviting them to something. The pink is inviting them to the coaching opportunity. The green one is inviting them to a challenge group with challenge pack. I did have 2 yellow ones, and that's for the free challenge group. Typically, I don't write them down. I was just want to keep track of those people because they're interested in challenge pack like later on. If they're orange, that means they signed up, or if they're highlighted underneath with the orange, that just means that I sent the enrollment to them already, so I know how many enrollments that I have out for the month. The awesome part about this is next month you can go through this and make sure that you can reach back out and follow up with these people as well and still know who you can build that relationship with. If someone has a really high interest, highlight them in a different color, whatever you want to do. But just know that you need to actually be asking these people to join you, else you're never going to be able to grow. And that is something that is really hard for people to do. No matter how you say it, even if it's the worst wording ever, the more you say it, the more chances are people are going to say yes to you. Like I said, you can get 10 no's, but that the next person can be a yes, okay? Not saying that if you talk to 10 people that one is definitely going to sign up, or you might get 3 people out of that. That's not what I'm saying. Like, that's just like on average, okay? Okay, that's a little fun fact. Make sure you're actually asking someone to join you in either aspect once you find that need. Okay, stop getting stuck on rejection. You have nothing to lose in this business. You really don't. All you have is to gain. So don't get stuck getting caught up, or someone says, no, that's not for me, or I don't like shakes. I never write those people off, ever, okay? And we'll get to the reason in a little bit. But don't get stuck on and get caught up in the word rejection or feeling like you're failing at something, okay? That I don't want to keep going. I don't want to confuse the guys with failure and stuff, but you have to kind of get past that and know that a lot of the times people are not going to say yes on the first time you ask them. If you think back to when your coach talked to you, how many times did it take for them to still build a relationship, still ask you? It might have took them 5 months, but they never gave up on you, right? So you shouldn't ever give up on someone, because unless they're like completely like, get away from me, no, like stay away from me, then I would cross them off. But that's literally have only happened one time. So just be a genuine person. provide value, and ask them to join you, okay? And follow up with them. Or if it's not the right time for them, keep talking to them. It's not the end of the world, okay? So, but I did want to read you guys something really quick about setting goals, moving past rejection or just failure in general. So let me go. And this is kind of interesting. So, how it relates back, you'll see in a second. But we can never let the word no devastate us. Think for a moment what it must be like to be a doctor. Every doctor knows that eventually, someday, they are going to lose a patient. Now, what if every doctor, when they finally did lose a patient, said, that's it, I'm done, I failed, and I'm through with medicine? What would happen? Pretty soon, we have no doctors left. That's why in medical school, every doctor is taught the magic word they need for when they lose a patient so that they can get past the pain and keep going. And simply, the magic word is next. When a doctor loses a patient, they must be able to focus on their next patient. They must be able to move on. It's the only rational approach. But what do most of us do when we have a failure? We analyze it. We sit there and think about it all day long, over and over, and let it ourselves get buried by it. When what we should do when something doesn't go our way is simply say next, move on, smile, and be happy. So you have to continuously know that it's not personal. When someone says no to you, it's not because of you. It really isn't. It's just not the right time for them, or you didn't give them enough information for where they understand what the opportunity is all about, or maybe they just aren't really ready to dedicate time to fitness, or if some people, like a lot of people, think that they need to go out and quit their jobs and stay home full time, and that's not something they want to do because they're looking at my social media when I never even said that to them, right? A lot of people have full-time jobs and kids and still work their business. So it's just, they might not understand right away. Okay, so I really like that though, because it is true, right? Doctors can't just get up and walk away. And I think so many people early on just like give up in their business because they hear the word no or something just doesn't go their way, when really you can never be perfect at something unless you're practicing and continuously growing. And, some months are going to suck. I'm going to be completely honest. But it's you getting back up and figuring out, what can I do to move past that, and what can I do to continuously, help my team and continuously grow, because this is a growing process, right? But so numbing yourself to no isn't about ignoring it. It's about experiencing it so often that it eventually loses its power over you. And that's really what I want to happen. I don't want you guys to ever get stuck in this rejection phase, and no should mean nothing to you, and you should just be happy and move forward and try to find that person that you can help, okay? Because you're in this business to help people. This is another thing I really liked, and this is where following up and not giving up on somebody is so important. And this is what's going to set you apart from a lot of coaches in this industry, right? And just, the majority of people in general. Not saying like target this person the next day at all. I'm saying don't give up on them, continuously build in that relationship with them, and eventually then ask them when it's a good time or when you see a good window area when you're talking to them. So no doesn't mean never. It means not right now, right? So 44% of people give up after one no. They just exit I don't want them to say no to me again. 22% of people give up after the second no. 14 people give up after the third no. 12 people give up after the fourth no and just stop normally, typically. People give up after the fourth no, when 60% of people say yes on the fifth time. So people need to kind of have that repetitiveness in their heads for them to make a decision. And they kind of need you to guide them through that decision. Not being a pushy person, but guide them, let them know you're going to be there for them. You're excited for them. You want to help them with their journey. And, you're going to be there right alongside them. So I know a lot of you, if you're one of my coaches, or, think back when your coach talked to you, how many times did it take for you to say yes to them? Okay. And that's what you kind of have to think about when you are talking to people. Like, you know, it maybe took somebody to ask me 3 times, and it maybe took like 2 months, or some people 6 months to sign up. But how long did it eventually, you know, eventually for you to say yes? And that's really what you have to focus on. You didn't say yes, right? I was like that rare one that said yes, like within 2 seconds, because I wanted to stay home with Hayden, and I just like wanted to get going and do it. But that is very rare, okay, in this business. So don't get caught up if someone doesn't say, right now is the perfect time, sign me right up. Do the thing you fear, and fear will go away. So if your fear is inviting people, I want you to start inviting every single person you know. I'm not even kidding. Just even if it's the worst saying that you ever said or the worst close, you'll learn from it. It's practice, and you just need to get out there and do it. Okay. Okay. Take risks, take chances, and show outrageous courage. Go for no, and you will never fail. Okay. If you go for no and you're continuously getting no's, you're going to continuously grow your business. And those people that said no to you are perfect to follow up with at least 5 times, right? Okay. So building those relationships is not a waste of your time, because it's going to potentially take a couple months to build that huge funnel to narrow it down to your team of people that you want to join you. So it's the people who remove, I love this saying in this book, but it's the people who remove the most dirt, who will work their way through the greatest number of no's, who ultimately discover the greatest number of golden yeses. So approaching enough people with the opportunity, even without the perfect words, like I said, or the perfect close, can help you achieve success way faster than the person that sits there and dwells exactly how they should say exact words, and waste time. You know, what they could have reached out to 20 people, whereas they were trying to find the exact words to say to someone. They only reached out to 2 or 3 people and invited only 2 to 3 people, when they could have reached out and invited 20 people already, and already had people they could start helping. If you truly want to accelerate your sales performances, which I don't like to use the word sales, but in the book it is typically to help salespeople, but you have to fail faster. And that's the whole concept. It's not technically failing, right? It's not the norm that people typically associate failing with. But you need to be willing to get more no's way faster, so you can accelerate your failure ratio and succeed in this business. So I hope that makes sense to all of you. Let me stop screen sharing really quick. Okay. Let me unmute you guys. Great, my internet connection is unstable. Okay. So I am going to stop recording so we can ask questions if anybody has questions.